Gotta handle some business, so
Yeah,
just because I made some money doesn't mean the grind doesn't stop.
Hell no. Hell no. We are in that zone for episode. We ain't got enough fingers to throw them up. There you go. Episode 11 up in here. Austino, what's going on, brother, man? Shoot. Man, episode 11, bro.
Yeah.
One way from that halfway mark.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling about that so far?
It's like surreal.
It is. It is. I was sitting there thinking about that.
Seems like last week.
I know, man. Just randomly, just popping up, just trying to start it. Here we go with Topo. Topo again in the building.
That's our toast.
Yep.
One episode from halftime.
One away from halftime. Oh shit. Man, how was your week, brother?
It was good.
I heard you. I see you called me up and I see why you happy. You good. You feeling good this week now, right?
Well, it feels good that I finally,
they hooked you up.
You know how much time I put into this craft and the type of energy I come with, and it's not easy waking up every day doing this. I know, there's a lot of jobs. I'm very grateful doing what I like to do, but this was like that, those Formula One drivers, like getting the trophy, like that was like, I finally got the bonus. All this hard work that I finally put in.
That money that you deserve.
Yes.
Damn it. Hell yeah. Your ass, you had the receipts. You did the job.
Yeah.
You got it noted. You got everything that you need on your part. So yeah, hell yeah, run me my money.
And then the universe gave me another little gift that I wasn't even like, when you're not searching, when it just comes to you, I did a little job for this Jewish lady for Brooklyn today. So
from Brooklyn.
Yeah, yes, sweet lady. I told her about the price on the material. I got to readjust my prices because, the stuff that I was paying for, I got to see how I price jobs out now because
prices ain't the same no more,
definitely.
Man. Like I said, I know what you're talking about because, like I said, when I went to when I helped redo my mom's bathroom, my mother's bathroom, I went to Home Depot and said the same thing. I was like, $20 fittings. Then the $16 fittings. I was like, oh no, I need to get the number that I need, and I better make it count because I better not mess up a $20 fitting.
You don't want to mess up either because you don't want to go back and forth.
Everybody
hates going to Home Depot.
Boy,
what do they say in plumbing?
You forget
measure twice, cut once.
Boy, that's why I be telling you. You better. That's why I do the same mentality with cutting hair.
I turned around at Home Depot because I looked at the receipt and it said repair coupling for $18, and then a regular coupling was $4. I say I can be cheap, so I turned around halfway through the trip. I said, no, sir. I said, and a repair coupling is just that little piece of the, the groove that it's smooth, so you can just, put it back on the drain. But it felt good being out in the sun. I usually at the beach, but I gotta handle some business. So just because I made some money doesn't mean the grind doesn't stop.
Hell no.
You gotta keep it moving.
You definitely
gotta flow like water. I kept saying move like water last episode. So if I have to critique myself, I want to say flow like water. That's really what Bruce Lee said.
I thought you did say flow.
Yeah, but I kept saying like move like water, move like water. We gotta move. But I said when I quoted Bruce Lee, I misquote. But when you're on camera, this is kind of a segue that we are gonna talk about.
Yeah.
This is almost live. I mean, unless we say something crazy.
This is live in the moment. Live in the moment. So, and we try to do like try to do very little editing and stuff like that to be like to make live it look in the moment. So that, like what you see is what happens, because maybe we blurt out a word or something like that, but that'd be about it at the most.
And we don't like to edit because we also want to learn from our mistakes to make future episodes better. So it's almost like, the football players when they're looking at film, So we watch these videos, like, I don't know about you, at least 5 times. I mean, you edit, so you're watching it way more than I am. So I can't even talk about this is all Ron. So if you want to talk about the editing process, and
especially the last episode 10, when I was trying something different, man. That one, I mean, mind you, like I said, I ain't no expert in none of this. I'm learning on the fly how to do all this stuff. Like the editing, these camera setups, everything I'm learning on the fly. Like,
but you also put your artistic touch on it too as well.
Yeah. I try to. I try, cause like I said, I'm an artist, man. So I wanna be able to create. I'm not one of them dudes that'll sit there and I was never the trace guy. I was never the type of dude to sit there and wanna just
the color book.
Recreate something that was already done.
Just like the kid that just colors.
Yeah. You put the tracing paper over the book, and you trace the tiger. I was the one that wanted to draw that tiger and draw it the one, back in like elementary school. And, I was that dude, you know, and that's why people know me as an artist. But when I was doing that, last video, it was a 3-camera setup, man. And that was some of the hardest editing that I had to do, man. That thing took me, and I still got it done on the deadline. Cause I didn't think.
You almost gave up too.
I didn't. Yeah, I almost did give up.
You called me at 10:40, and I said, "Hey, Ron, I don't want this to stress you out. Just do the single view." You're like, "No, I got to do it." He's like, and then you said, "Austin, I'm at a crossroad." I said, "Well, do what you got to do." That's what I said to him. I was like, "I wish I could help you, but
yeah, man." Cause
I kind of just
then that type of. I'm so passionate about just, especially when I believe in something so strongly, like I do with what we're doing and stuff like that, whether to build us up, to build clients, to build this, I want to put my best foot forward. And even me with that last episode, I'll tell you right now, it's different. It's a good watch. It is a good watch. And I had to critique myself afterwards because I didn't even finish it the way that I wanted it to be done. But that was on me because I was trying to. It's a great listen, and even the visual. Like I said, the cameras going back and forth between us and the conversations and stuff that we was having. It was really good. Now there's things that I'm going to change this go round, that I think will help me out with the editing process too. That I have learned from the last one, because like I said, man, it took me, I was stressing that we put myself under such immense pressure to still try to get the pod out on Wednesday, like we had promised everyone, to get it out on Wednesday, because we never missed one Wednesday ever since we started. Everyone, whether it was early in the morning or late at night.
The only thing that changes is we might film on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, the only thing that's ever changed was, like you said, either filming on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Most of the time it's been Saturday night. We probably filmed, about 6-7 episodes on a Saturday night, maybe about 3 or 4 on a 3.
And then at one point we were filming. Well, that was before the first episode, because we have you still have that episode?
Mm-hmm. Shit.
So we have an episode before we did the first episode.
Yeah,
and we were gonna do it like 6 a.m, but then we came to a conclusion that it would be better for us to have more things to talk about, and then the news about current events.
Yeah.
Having it at the end of the week at nighttime. So like if I work, we could talk about, like if I work on the weekend or you work,
like
your schedule.
Roundup, and that's how we
so
it's
been working.
Saturday night type deal. Yeah, man.
It's too we're knee deep. We can't go back now. It'd be a shame to just give up now. After this we'll be 13 episodes.
No, after this is 12.
Yeah, but 13, 11 plus 13 is 24.
Yeah. But for just, and at this point, you also want to try and keep building yourself too, like
Yeah.
in general in life. Whether it's this podcast, we don't want to stay stagnant. At least I don't want to stay stagnant. That's why I thought about. I was like, let me try and figure out a 3-camera setup. Try to implement some things that I've seen on other platforms and whatnot, and try to implement it with ours, because I want us to progress, in a stance that, we could do it with a couple of cameras out here. So you don't need like a whole bunch of if you don't need a whole bunch of just like, I need the best camera, I need the best this, all this other stuff, or the best clippers, I need the best tool. Nah, man, just work with what you got and put it out. Just be consistent about it. We were literally just talking about consistency with brand new YouTubers and stuff like that. You just have to be consistent, even though, and like I said, we got 28 damn followers, bro.
One of them, my friend from high school, Jarrell Williams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We went to school together. He said, he hit me up on the messenger and he said, I just subscribed. So.
Oh, he was the new guy that popped up?
Yeah, 28. So, yeah.
Jarrell, welcome to the pod, welcome to the family, friend of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So man,
He's a good guy.
We gotta keep elevating and trying to because that's what we pushing. That's our whole goal. We pushing to be better than yesterday. I want every episode that we do to be better than the last episode.
You know what was good for this week is that we both accomplished our goals.
Yes.
And then, my deadline was Friday.
Yep.
Because I already was like, hey, school's getting out of this van. You guys got to figure this out. And I still want my money. But I was just going back and forth. So, I'm finally getting the respect that I deserve and that I've earned. And it feels good. But also, I want to self-reflect and psychoanalyze myself. I guess we were talking about this podcast, the Matt Hoffa.
The expert opinion.
Yes, expert opinion.
Shout out.
And then Mecca, I guess he's one of the third set of the hosts. Mm-hmm. I guess they're having problems with the landlord, so they're not being able to film their podcast. And, sometimes when you work for a company, you want to go hard for the company. Like, this is who I work for. Mm-hmm. But you can't put too much energy or wasted or counterproductive energy in the sense of, I do work for a company. I can complain about certain things. Yeah. And then, my bottom line was in the, what did they say? The when you draw a line in the sand?
Yeah.
It was, if I don't get this bonus, I'm done. So, I did get that bonus, but there's certain things that I can't complain about. I do have a camera on me while I'm driving. I can't be like, hey, you know what, CEO? Get that camera out of me. You know how much money I make you guys? I make you guys over $100,000 the first quarter. Mm-hmm. But, I don't got it like that. But, stuff like that. So I can't tell a company how someone else to run their own company. Because, I gotta, not bow down, but I'm not gonna sit here and get bullied. But at the same time, I still gotta have mutual respect for the people that pay me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no.
And I finally feel like I've gotten that respect, and I feel appreciated. And, that's why I'm still there.
I know we try to preach on this show, owning your own, achieving and trying to own your own goals and stuff like that.
But if you're in that transition period,
you gotta go.
You still gotta respect it where you get that check from.
There is a transition, like you said. We all in that technically right now, I'm even in the transition because this is not my shop.
Yeah.
if the owner want to sell this shop tomorrow, guess where the hell I gotta go?
We're gonna film on the porch.
I
We're
gotta
gonna
go
film at
find-
my on the balcony of my apartment with the pond.
Like if the owner want to sell this shop tomorrow, I gotta go find a new shop.
Or we'll film at my place and then.
No, I'm just talking about in general. Just being a barber, I gotta find a new shop to.
But the show must go on. The show still gotta go on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Phantom might be sitting here, little Phantom.
That's the part that you gotta think. Now, you gotta be willing. Not saying like you said, don't fold for nobody. Don't bow down for nobody. And know your worth. Like, if you gotta hop, I know they'll be like, oh, we don't like to see you hop from this job to that job to this job to that job. But if you know your shit and you know your worth, get what the hell you deserve.
I think nowadays that stuff doesn't even matter. I think some companies are so desperate they just need bodies.
I feel like and that's the crazy part, because like you said, they need bodies.
Yeah.
And that's what they look at you like. They look at you like a body that all right, well, I need a body to go out and do this. I need a body to go out and do that. They don't value you as a worker, as a producer, as a person that can earn you revenue, as a person with a specific skill set, as a person that can help you elevate and grow whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever field you're in or something like that, you know what I mean? A lot of them, they don't respect you in that value or on that aspect. And that's where...
Well, I think, don't you think in a lot of corporations where I feel like they're jaded and the CEOs got it messed up and the GMs of these corporations is that they're not in tune with their employees. They might have like a little get together, a little dinner, but they don't know this person. They don't know what that person's going through. So like, you know, when I am... like, I do own my own company. I want my employees to be partners. I want to know what's going on. I'm not sitting here trying to get free money out, but you know, if you're short on an electric bill and I'm in a position to help you, you're gonna pay me back. But I want to be in tune with my workers. I don't want my workers at the Amscott loan place loaning or putting collateral in their house. Just like I hate to bring this place up, but you know, this is how we met. Ace, remember when Bobby's house got caught on fire?
Yeah.
I was the only one that went over there. The fucking owner didn't do anything. The GM, I know you got your own, but I called and I volunteered my time and I helped him. I wasn't expecting any money he gave. I took it because I didn't want to disrespect him. Yeah. And I would have, if he gave me any money, he didn't owe me anything, but just like a thank you and that's it. But I like, if any situations like that and I pay, like it's a lot of pressure owning a company and making sure your soldiers are eating or your workers or, you know, but if anything, I don't want to look them as them as workers. I want to look at them as partners and future, like, you know, I want them to have a piece of the pie too. I want to see them flourish. And if they build themselves up and then they can branch off and do their own thing, but I want the best. And you know, that's what I hope to do, you know, with this show or the community or whatever we do decide to do as far as entrepreneur stuff that we decide to do.
It's funny that you bring up that, because I sit there and I think about like the jobs that I work for, and I think I only had one decent type of company like what you're talking about that actually sat down. Hell, it was a very small and real intimate type of company. It was just 6 employees, one boss. The wife was like the secretary, and it was Hunter Plumbing. When I went, when I first moved here, my first job was at Hunter Plumbing, and like I said, it was 6 of us. And
this was in Tampa?
No, this was right here in Winter Haven.
Okay.
Winter Haven, and we worked the whole Central Florida, from all the way from Tampa, all the way to Daytona, up to Ocala, down to Sebring.
Residential?
No, we was doing commercial. We was doing Walgreens. So we did Walgreens, whether we
You
was
did copper or PEX?
copper. Yeah, we did a lot of copper work. Cause it was
Soldering.
all the old.
Was it
It was all the
ProPress or
old.
were you
Yeah,
guys soldering?
yeah. Pro pressing. Cause we had to, working with all these old ass Walgreens and shit like that. They're
I
all
hate
copper
soldering with the
walls.
propane tank.
Man, yeah, we had to do some soldering too.
Yeah, but
now we had to do
I
some
like
soldering.
I like the big tank with the little head. You
the
know,
big tank. Which one you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the big one, the C tank.
Oh, see, I ain't never used one of them.
Yeah, I
always
used
had
to use it on
I always
commercial.
had the little one right here.
But
right
even
on my
the
gun.
propane though, the propane one, the head can only be so small. So when you're doing like 1/2 inch lines, it's kind of hard, especially if you're doing a shower valve. So
Yeah.
like that's why the Pro Press is nice to have.
Oh yeah, because Pro Press.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
bam, you hear it. And that's it.
But solder, you just, and you don't want to burn the house down either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's difficult.
With that job, the boss, Bill, he was a good dude. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he did one
Do you
of the
feel
other.
like he was in tune with you guys though? Like personally, on a personal level?
Yeah, we had open door policies with him. We literally could walk in there, and I had a situation. I got because I suffer from MS, multiple sclerosis. So I remember in December of 2017, I had an attack. I was working with them, and I think I had been probably there for like maybe a year or something like that, and I think I got yeah. I had been working with them. So I was at the job actually when it started to happen, when I started to feel myself go, like, so what happens with MS is your nervous system, the myelin, this is basically like the protective coating around your nerves, they start to like, you should go into shock and stuff like that. So what happened was I had an attack where I couldn't move my arms. So I was hospitalized for like a week, and for 2 months, I couldn't lift my arms, bro. I lost weight. I was living with my mom's and my father, and they had to wash me, help me put my clothes on because I couldn't lift. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't lift my arms, anything. And
Isn't that what Freddie Roach has? Oh, my bad. All right. I'm talking about Manny Pacquiao's boxing coach.
okay, but yeah, I couldn't lift my arms. I had these 2-pound weights. And every day I was sitting there trying to lift them. I could not lift them weights. And it was so defeated because I was in the best physical shape. I had just got into like a real good shape. I was literally in the gym every day, going to the gym every day. Hell, I was even in another relationship and I was going to the gym every single day. And then all of a sudden that just happened. That man, he held my job for 2 months. Didn't hire nobody else, and he held my job for 2 months. And when I came back, I was able to get my truck back. Same position, everything. Got back to same position and whatnot. But so that aspect was one of them. I'm like, yo, for that, he one of them real ones. And then some of the things that he came to my house. He came to my house in Davenport and sat in my, like the week after I had got injured, to check on me, and sat on my couch, talked to my mom, talked to my pops, and just to check on me. So in that aspect, he was for sure like one of the best whatchamacallits that I've had since I've been here. Now we've had to part ways on different terms because I started outgrowing my worth. And there was something that he did to one of my buddies that was out on the job that made me start thinking. I'm like, oh damn, I mean, I know he's a good dude, but even right now to this day, if I ever needed him for something, I know I could like say what's up to him. Even though I don't obviously plan on that for anything, because I don't believe in going backwards.
Yeah.
But if I needed to holler at him and say what's up to him or something like that, I could.
If it gets rough.
And because, like I said, he did something to one of the coworkers that I was really close with, that made me think like, damn, man, because he kind of did like berate and belittle the dude, and I was like,
What, like
bro.
condescending towards him?
He was bringing up old stuff that.
Is that what the word means, berated? I'm not.
Yeah.
I've heard the word, but
Like,
I've never heard the definition.
Like, just like belittling and or like just making them feel less than.
Oh.
Bringing up old shit they had personal talks with. And so
Being
and
petty,
throwing it back in his face a little bit. And I was like, bro,
Being
if
petty.
he can do that to him. And he was like he was green as hell. And he moved up real quick. Green as hell. Moved up, jumping in the truck, everything. And then I'm like, bro, if he could do that to him, he can still do that to anybody.
Old School Plumber did tell me this. He said he left. When he left, he was a good foreman. He taught me a lot. And he told me his past life story where he was a framer. I think he owed the IRS like $80,000 because he wasn't paying his taxes, and he was getting all subcontract money. So when you get a subcontract, you got to pay your own taxes. Mm-hmm. So he was just getting all that money. So it ended up he's just like got a letter from the government, said we're gonna garnish your wages, and then he told me how he went from framing to plumbing. And like he basically told the government just to take all his money, but he told me like I thought it was dope was he went to Australia for 30 days, and that's definitely one on my bucket list. Like my fascination with Australia. Yeah. With the animals, with the Aborigine people. Yeah. Just the land in general is just very unique. It's a continent. I don't know. Is there another country that's a continent? I mean, Antarctica, but no one really lives there. But yeah, no. So it's like a country continent. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and yeah, and then he just told me a story about moving up and down, and yeah,
up and down, and like
framing. But basically what I was trying to say was, he was just saying Austin. He left the company and he told the owner on the job site. And I thought it was kind of cool, to be honest with you. Like standing up to the man, be like, you know what? You're not gonna give me what I want. I'm just gonna leave. So he told me, he's like, Austin, you never wanna be with the plumbing company more than 2 years. You wanna switch it up every 2 years. And that's somebody that's been in the game for a long time. So keep it fresh. Because they say when you negotiate, the best time you can negotiate a raise is in the interview process.
Oh, yeah.
Because once you're there for 7 months, they got the attitude that you ain't going nowhere. And if you do, we can find somebody else. We already have 10 applicants that, that's how they do it in the corporate world.
Of course.
Like they laid people off. I'm not going to knock my job, but they laid people off. And then I said, how you guys laying people off? And you got ads on Indeed. That's a contradiction. And they're like, oh, we're always looking for good applicants. I was like, oh, and then I kept the comment to myself, but you know how I think in my head. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, so you can get rid of us if we start acting wild. And then I did say that in the meeting. He said, I just want to make sure when we're at these meetings that we're allowed to speak our mind. Because my last job, they had issues with me speaking my mind, and then they said that wasn't an issue because I was like, I want to make sure I don't ruffle any feathers, and if I do, then let me know.
They don't mind. They don't mind getting rid of, like, even if you the top dog, bruh. If you the top dog, they don't mind it. If you become too much for them to handle, oh, we'll cut you loose. We'll cut you loose in a heartbeat. Motherfucking Luka Doncic got traded. Like, come on, man. Like,
he just bought a $50 million
that's
house.
what I'm saying. Like, come on now.
I don't know if it's $50 million. It's probably like 20.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It
but
was
like,
expensive. He didn't plan on leaving. That wasn't part of the plan.
Exactly. He don't plan on it. That's why you always got to stay a step ahead of him. Like you said, I do like that stay 2 years thing because, like you said, it gets them off of like, oh well, if he's been here 3 or 4, if he's been here 3 or 4,
and you can be like, I got this offer on the table, so if you can't match it, then we do need to part ways.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, if you done been here 3 or 4 or 5 years, because then it looks like, all right, well, he ain't got no other place to go. He's not. We got him kind of locked up.
Yeah,
he don't feel he's not going to open his mouth to say what he deserves or what he should get or nothing like that because he's seen him for 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5, however long it may be. So then they know like, all right, whatever. And even if he was to say something at year 6 or something like that, oh, we ain't gonna take him serious. He's been here for 5 years already. We ain't gonna take him serious. Like we ain't gonna worry about him. And God forbid that man do decide. Then you go, all right, well, if that's the case, if he do leave, we'll hire two other people, pay them cheaper. Because by year 6, you should be getting pretty decent. You should be getting a pretty decent salary somewhere. But if that's the case, we'll hire 2 people less for cheaper. And then guess what? We got an idea he'll probably come back. He might come back because he'll go out there and test the waters and see like, oh, I can't get what I got or something like that before. And then I'll go back to them. And now I'll be like, yeah, we got you back by the balls again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's just how they looking at you. But like you said, every 2 years, you don't never let them see you sweat. You don't let them see you sweat. Then you be like, all right, cool, I'll dip. And you gotta play that poker face. You gotta let them know, like, I'll dip and I'll never come back here. I'll never look back. I'll go laughing at your asses and shit like that. But you gotta be willing to stand on it. Them people that go 4, 5, 6 years at a company and then they quit and stuff like that, and then they go out, test the waters, and come back, and now they looking at you like, "Hi, I told you." That's why I just said earlier in the beginning of the year, I try not to go back. I'm always 1 step back equals me 2 steps forward. I'm not going back to nobody. I don't never want you to think that maybe in a relationship I had went back once or twice, but that's different. That's different. As far as work-wise, no, I'm not going back at all. Because I don't never want you to think, oh, well, yeah, Ron back here again. Yeah, shit, we seen Ron, last time Ron wasn't feeling it, but now he back up in here because he ain't got no other place to go. No, don't try me. Don't try me. Don't try me. So
yeah,
it's like one of them. You gotta, like you said, I'm cool with that 2 years. I like that mindset that he's had.
Yeah,
because it makes a lot of sense. And then, like you said, if you come back with a 2 years, like, all right, I need to talk about some money now.
But make sure you have the offer. Don't be just, yeah.
Even if you don't got the offer, you can. If you know how to bullshit your way around, you know what I mean. If you know how to, like, you know what I mean, bullshit your way around.
Or at the very least, have a rainy fund.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. And stand on it and don't compromise and be willing to fall back, man. Because if you fall back on them, they going to call your blood. That's when they call your blood. Like, I knew you'd be back. You ain't had shit out there anyway. You ain't had shit. You know what I mean?
The good thing about Florida is there's just so much work out here. It's just a matter of finding the right situation for what meets your standards and needs. So there's plenty of opportunity out here, and even in the entrepreneur aspect too. I do a little entrepreneur now. The goal is to make it full time, and I do have some moments where, like today I made some really good money, but can I do it every week,
every day,
or even every weekend? Because when you own the own company, you're everything. You're the secretary, you're the CEO, you're answering all those calls. You know, you're the technician. You go into the warranty calls. And then if you got people under you, you got to make sure they're eating before you eat, because if they're not eating, they're gonna leave, and then you're just lost, or you're just playing catch up or trying to make it work. So it just depends on how big you want to be, but I have a dream of working 8 months out the year really hard and then traveling the world 4 months. So I hope to do that.
Nah, it's not hope. We gonna do it. We
Yeah.
just put it in. We got to keep working until it's.
Because I do enjoy working. And
I mean, you can't not work. Bro.
I actually had some fun.
I look at my pops, bro. My pops is, I don't fucking know. I think he's old. I believe he's over 75. So one of them two, like 75, 6, 7, 8, something like that. I feel like somewhere between them three, 75 to 78, somewhere. Let's just go there. So, and I look at my pops, man, that man works to this day outside for his own landscaping company. And he busts his ass. He busts his ass.
Does he have workers?
Yep.
How many people he has?
I don't know. He got a little crew. I mean, like I said, I just got back talking with him, so I know he got like a little crew that he got.
Like a couple trucks and.
I think he got his truck for sure. Maybe another truck that he do. Most of his stuff is just like it's all him. Maybe him and the crew. And so, and that's all he need. He take care. He hire his guys. His guys work for him. He go out there and contract them out, contract the work out, and whatnot. And they do it. He'll do it, jump in and stuff too. And he's one of them. He got an entrepreneur mindset. I think he go a little hard with the working because he got all these damn cars with all these parts and stuff on it. He got to take care of them joints.
And he's a sugar daddy.
Hey. I mean, he's a married man. He was a sugar daddy. He's a married man currently at this moment. But he had a lifestyle after him and my mom's got away. So he had a lifestyle that he had to fulfill, that he wanted to fulfill in order to.
Mac Daddy, the Mac is back.
Yeah, old school Mac, old school player.
What is that song? Return of the Mac.
The Return of the Mac.
Dude, you ever been to Vegas?
No, not as an adult.
Or you been to Vegas in general?
Yeah, I've been there as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid?
Yeah.
They always play that song on the strip.
Really?
Yeah, like Return of the Mac.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
I stayed out in Vegas. I worked a little bit for like 30 days, but damn, I would always hear that song on the strip. Like Return.
Why was you out there for like 30 days? I think you told me that before, but.
Oh, my cousin wanted me to talk about this.
Oh, well, there you go. Look at that. Nice segue. Perfect segue. The segue in. Why was you out there for 30 days, Austin?
I moved out to Charlotte, North Carolina, because my homegirl, I had a falling out with this guy that I was doing contracting work. He owed me some money. Mm-hmm. And this guy was, he's known for stabbing people, and he shot someone, and yeah.
Okay.
So imagine my personality dealing with this person.
Oh, Lord.
So
27-year-old Austin. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Oh, this is like 25, 26, 27.
Head to the fullest. Okay.
So we were at a job site, and he said the R word, autistic or something. Mm-hmm. He said, "What the hell?" And I said, "What?" I said, "Who?" And then basically we're in a medical office, and we're going at it in Arlington, not
Virginia.
Arlington. Yeah, like downtown Arlington, like the city part.
Okay.
So where they have high rises, Ron. So you know, it's not all country land.
Man, y'all still South, man. I don't care. Virginia's the South.
We have a metro system, a train, and we have this thing is called a slug line where you carpool. I'll talk about it. So then we had like a falling out. So then, so my homegirl was like, come move down to Charlotte with me, and come down here. So I ended up going to Charlotte, but Charlotte, you know, it's cool professionally, you know, it's a nice, cool little city, but it's not my cup of tea. No disrespect to the 704. You know, it's just, it's just not me. Honestly, people from Charlotte will even tell you this. It's a wannabe Atlanta, and they want to be like Atlanta so bad, but they don't have a culture whatsoever. So,
you know what? I feel like Jess told me. I think she might have said something like, she might have gave it that comparison too.
Yeah.
I think she gave it that because you know she's from that's South Carolina, right?
Well, yeah, but South Carolina, where she's from, is like an hour away from Charlotte, North Carolina, because Charlotte, North Carolina is right there on
Charlotte. You said Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah, it's right there on the South Carolina, North Carolina border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I was having fun out there, but I mean, you can only go to the bar so much, I got bored out there. So then I was always adventurous, and I had a friend from Virginia that was saying, I could get you a job making $1,000. I didn't know what the job was. I just said $1,000, Vegas, let's make it work. Yeah, I want to get the hell out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I was like, I had my fun out here, but I gotta go. So I've always been, you know, unfortunately, in my 20s, I was really into gambling, but that's not why I moved out to Vegas. It was to do this job, making $1,000. So then I get out there. So, you know, I get Efficiency Hotel right there by the Vegas sign to go sell makeup on the strip.
So
basically,
Avon lady.
Yeah, like a booster. You want makeup, and you'd be like, no, I don't want makeup. I was like, get one for your mom, $20. Here, get it. And then you like all these little saltines where you put it in your hand. Like that's how they're saying the best hustlers are on the strip. No, there's cats that are selling water for making thousands of dollars.
Growing up in Jersey.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to be a hustler in Vegas. And I feel like that experience helped me in sales because it's either, you know, you either swim or you drown. You know? So I had a good experience of seeing like gift the gab, and I'm talking 1,000, like I don't want to say 1,000 people, but like 100 people a day just on the strip asking people, and then they would have us like go into stores asking people at the register, like, you want to buy some makeup? Hey, makeup. But you know, long story short, that job didn't last because it was illegal to sell things on the strip, and people don't realize about Vegas is that the security can put hands on you. Act stupid in the casinos if you want to. There's securities that will put you in handcuffs and they can take you in the back room.
In the back room.
Yeah, but they're not gonna beat you up. But they can physically, like most security guards, they're not allowed to touch you. But in Vegas, they can touch you. So, you know, if you're trying to sell makeup or you're trying to boost or you're trying to sell water, you can get it's called was it soliciting? Soliciting. So it was like illegal, but those guys end up going to Dallas. They wanted me to go to Dallas, and I said, nah. So I went back, and then I started doing my plumbing thing. And it was, I was selling makeup, bro.
This motherfucker was a whole Avon lady, bro.
Yeah. You know what's funny? My cousin wanted me to talk about that, but the first day I was out there, I had an anxiety where I was like, my cousin's Tom, and I was like, Tom, I messed up. He's like my brother. Tom's like we're really close.
I feel like he's commented on.
Okay. He watches the episode,
Tom.
And he gave me credit, and he gave you respect because he said he likes how you break things down to the audience. Like if I say something, you almost like, you're like my translator. Be like, this is what Austin trying to say. Let me talk to you. This is how Austino's thinking. It sounds crazy, but this is really what it is. Method Man used to talk for Redman. Redman used to say wild stuff.
And
then Method Man, it'd be like
the voice of reason. Kind of like, you know what I mean?
So
Break it down, bust it down like that.
So yeah, I had that moment in Vegas. It was a little bit of a culture shock, you know. It's the land of temptation. It's the city of temptation. Like whatever addiction.
Sin City. Sin City
Yeah,
is
literally.
real,
Whatever
I guess it's a real
addiction that you have, you know, whether it's sex, whether it's gambling, watching shows, or, you know, there will be someone, if you feel sorry for yourself, there's somebody out there will hustle you and take your money. They even have the cats that, you know, with the balls.
Oh, yeah.
So this is their hustle. This is their hustle. So they'll be like, all right, you know, this is from plumbing. Thank you. But they'll do this. They'll be like, yeah. So they'll be like this. They'll take the 100 and then you put it and then there. And they're like, oh, you won. So then they'll give you, they get that, you get 200, but they take the real $100 bill and they give you the fake 200. So then the cops know this. So then they have a lookout. And then this is what the locals were telling me. And then they'll just take off with the money and just make like $2,000 and real quick. So you can get hustled real quick. I mean, you know the mentality on the West Coast. Like it's not sweet over there.
They used to have that. They used to have that same hustle, man. Like, I remember sitting on the they used to.
They want you to win.
Oh yeah,
because then you're like,
it was part of the
and
plan.
The money feels so real. You're not looking at the the line.
It was like 3 to 4 people, cats that was involved in the whole thing.
Yeah,
like it wasn't just a one man show. Like, oh, I'm just really, I mean. Nah, it was like you said, you had to look out. You had a guy acting like he was playing the game, but he really is not playing the game and whatnot. Then you had the dude that's actually shuffling everything and whatnot, and palming the ball and shit like that. It's just that was a thing. I remember that.
So all types of hustles. They're even like, they got Buddhist guys like handing out like bracelets, selling bracelets for $20. They got matter of fact, my brother.
York, what the fuck?
My brother
remind me of New York in 2000s. God, dog.
My brother said a homeless guy said he was like, "Give me $1 and I'll shut the fuck up." But yeah.
Damn, that's funny. Give me $1 and I'll shut the fuck up.
But it's cool, you know. Vegas is. I like Vegas, man. It's cool. I like Arizona more, man. Because I'm past the gambling, or more like Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Like I said, those like the only places I remember going to.
Yeah,
like as a kid, I was like.
But there's some things I do like about Vegas too. So I wouldn't live by the Strip if I were to move out there. I'd live by the mountains.
I was about to say I don't know because I know my homie. Like my homie that was in the military, Trey, he used to stay. Damn, what fucking Air Force base is that? It's not. I don't believe it's Nellis, but he stayed out in, I guess Vegas. That's the only thing I know it as, like Vegas. But he stayed out there for a little bit, and I think it might be Nellis Air Force Base. But yeah, he stayed out there, and he just, like you said, man, that shit. It's one of them things.
There's a lot of money out there too. A lot of money.
Mm-hmm. We stayed out there for a couple years, and like you said,
it's cool though. I mean, looking at the casinos and stuff, they're huge. They're huge.
Nia been out there twice, so
I probably think you would like this. You and Nina would like this, like going to the Sphere.
Yeah, Oh, that's new. Cause that just really popped off. What about?
That's
3
the
years
first.
Ago?
There's a documentary with U2, the band U2. They were the first band to perform in there, while before it was getting built, and they were talking about the process of it getting built. That thing's worth a pretty penny.
Oh yeah,
we're talking about billions.
Yeah.
Multiple billions.
I didn't see.
But it's the first state. Most music concerts are in football arenas, soccer arenas, but they're not designed for music. But that's the first theater that's designed for music specifically.
Yeah, because it's a big old round ball, so everything is trapped inside.
Yeah.
The acoustics bounce off the wall, and it just immerses you in the action, the live, whatever they're doing inside. Yeah, well, and
I saw Mayweather's gym. It's in like this Chinatown part of Vegas. I saw his gym while I was out there.
Money May.
Yeah, he's not money anymore.
I was just about to say.
He ain't money no more. I didn't even watch the video.
Being said, I ain't watching neither.
I just watched the thumbnails.
I've seen plenty clips and plenty thumbnails, like you said.
He ain't money Mayweather.
But you know what's crazy though?
But his type of broke is a different type of broke.
Yeah, but I've been said this. I've been said this for years. I was like, Floyd ain't got what for that man to have still keep taking on these fights and everything. Yeah, they like, oh, but that's just because it's a cool 20 million. It's a cool 50 million. It's a cool 30 million. Nah, man.
Apparently,
if you're allegedly back then before, because when he went 50-0, boxing, if you're 50-0, why the fuck? And you got 500 million or whatever, why the fuck are you going to even let somebody, because granted, this man is one of the best defensive fighters out there to ever put some gloves on. And this man is not no damn slouch. This man can box with that. Floyd is a boxer.
Yeah.
Now, why in the fuck in your 40s, you're getting past that, are you out here putting yourself out there? Because maybe one day you're gonna run into that. I felt like
the only fight he should have did was the Conor McGregor, and then all the ones after the Conor McGregor, it's like a circus act.
That's when he fought some dude in Japan, some little young dude in Japan, a kickboxer in Japan. Why? Because you must have been some bad investments or something like that, or you're spending too much on them $20 million Rolexes.
Oh, he's a sugar daddy too.
Sugar daddy lifestyles and shit like that. All these homes and stuff.
He lost his fiance to Nelly.
Yeah, and then Nelly, he
knocked up Aaliyah.
Ashanti.
Ashanti at 42.
Yeah,
good for her though.
Good for them. I liked them back in the day. But yeah, man, it's like, bro, what are you doing this for?
Yeah.
I know it's easy. It's 20 million, 30 million. But why even put yourself in that position where you know what you can do with that 500 million? You know how to invest that the proper way? Because God forbid, one of them cats catch you on a bad night.
I know what the problem is.
Catch you on a bad night,
I know what the problem
and he put you on your face.
I know exactly what the issue is. Is he had too many yes people around him. He didn't have anybody checking him and be like, hey, that Manhattan deal, dog, New York, like real estate right now, don't touch it right now. Mm-hmm. You know, he could have did something way better. Dog, with that 500 million, he could have built his own neighborhood in Vegas. He could have called it Mayweather neighborhood.
Something like that,
affordable housing. He could actually help people too. He could have affordable housing. He could do the Section 8 thing, but he wanted the big high-rise, billionaire high-rise condos.
And he wanted to still live this $20 million. If you ever seen that man watch collection, I forget what it was. I forget.
Well, I have an inside source. Well, I don't really have an inside source, but he likes
now. Well, hold up. From what's coming out on fucking TikTok and shit, that the Chinese is creating these Rolexes and shit, all of these name brands, now it's making you look even fucking foolish. Because now you're spending $20 million on a Rolex when this shit was made in fucking China. The parts is made in fucking China. And they just finishing the shit up over and wherever to be able to put their stamp on it. Now it's a Rolex. Well, they should call it finished in such and such place. Now it's a Rolex. That shit is funny as shit to me. These Louis Vuittons and all that.
Well, he also gambles too. He likes to gamble.
That too.
He's a big gambler too.
That too.
So maybe that's how he ran his business. Is like how he ran gambling. But honestly, they say a saying in gambling is you should never gamble what you can't afford to lose.
Exactly.
You know, if you're gambling with your light bill, you have an issue. You know, so there's a big issue.
Exactly. Exactly. All you like you said, and you know, I ain't got nothing wrong with nobody that gamble, but motherfucker, like you said, if you can't afford to lose it, don't use it. If you can't say, all right, man, well, if I can't sit there and burn this money right in my hand, then don't you use it. If it's gonna hurt your pockets, don't you use that to gamble it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna feel wrong to do it, don't use it to gamble.
If it's gonna keep you up all night.
Hell yeah, if you gonna hurt about that shit, don't fucking use it. Because if you use it, your ass is done. That's gonna hurt you. Granted, yeah, you can make it, you can do it big. That's the same with investing, period. Like investing in something like the stock, whatever. Don't use, like you said, your mortgage money and hope that you can flip that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna say something kind of funny.
Okay.
Maybe it's kind of funny, kind of not.
Tell me something funny then. Let's see. You
In his defense,
you ain't
man.
use your rent. Oh, how about that?
In his defense, he can't read or write, bro.
That-
So he can't even. So they got these contracts, and how is he supposed to read it or even understand it? Like he doesn't even like, dude. Have you seen him do the commercial
50
when he did the
million.
commercial? And he couldn't even read, bro. Like he really can't read.
Dude, I think he was supposed to do a drop for like one of them radio
Yeah, that's
shows.
what I was saying. And then he was like,
And
he couldn't read
he couldn't read the
And you know who was
teleprompter.
making fun of him? It was Charlamagne.
I think 50 was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
Obviously
the hook
50.
on phonics. He was like, I'll give you, if you can read
Yeah,
a Harry
50
Potter
said,
book. If you can read a Harry Potter book, I'll give you any
Whatever
charity
it
of your
was.
choice. But yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Nah, man. It was like you said, dog. All that's just a bad.
He couldn't read the contract, so he didn't know what he was signing.
All that is a bad
Can you
mixture.
tell me? Because I don't know too much about this. Like, so he invested into a $406 million high rise that went under.
I think I heard like a headline, some Manhattan project.
Yeah.
Like some Manhattan project or something like that. And that's about all I really know. I just know, like you said, I just read the headline and I saw like something about a Manhattan real estate project that he, and I didn't even look into it after that. Cause I'm one of them dudes, I don't look into fucking anything.
Well,
that
sometimes
Floyd do,
they
because
say,
Floyd do,
well, they also say,
like I said, if you spend your money frivolously, then you know you're gonna lose it frivolously too, man.
they also say like a lot of basketball players, football players, baseball players, you know, you get that rush, you get that sense of purpose of, dieting, food and that competitiveness, so like when you're retired, you don't have that. So you try to be super aggressive in business, but you're entering a world where people have been going to college for this. People have, a lot of businesses deals with nepotism too. So like, you gotta, and you gotta learn how to politic. And then they're like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of Floyd Mayweather. This fucker can't even read. He can't even write. I was like, I'm gonna run circles around this guy.
Yep.
And he's flashy, and it's easy to take advantage of him, unfortunately.
But that's when you have to, when you know you're getting ready to transition from a career, it's time to start studying.
Yeah.
It's time to start practicing. It's time to start figuring this
And
shit
you need
out.
to have 6 different consultants. And they all need to check each other. And I'd be like, I want you to check him. I want you to check him. I want to see where this money's going. And then after a month, I want you to check him again. And I want it to be so spontaneous so they don't even see it. So if they're doing something, if this money's missing, you go straight to them. And then that's how you're supposed to run it. That's how you're supposed to run the business.
Because then you
Especially
also hear
when
about
money's involved.
Because you also
gotta
hear about them same ones too. When they get out, they, like you said, they retire and all this other stuff. So they got what's left in their stuff, and then you looking like, damn. How do I even run all this 200 million or something like that? Or all right, well, have somebody invest it. I'll have one of my guys invest this stuff. But then they skimming off the top of your shit and throwing it in their pockets and stuff because you don't know what the fuck you even got. You just know you got a lot of fucking money. and then wind up broke in 5 years. What the fuck happened? Why am I broke?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know
All
what the
that
fuck you
designer
got
stuff
going
in your
on.
closet doesn't mean anything.
All that designer stuff is fake.
Yeah.
Apparently, but that I mean,
Well, I'm talking about like the Louis Vuitton jumpsuits,
That's why
the court size tick.
Yeah.
Hey, Mayweather, you better do something because those girls are gonna leave you because they're not with you because of your personality. They're with you because of this.
Sure
So
enough.
you got to figure that part out.
yeah.
So,
And even though, like we said, even like earlier, just before we said, his broke is different than our broke
yeah,
because
he's still gonna have millions.
he still got whatever
He just can't
has.
afford to pay his creditors.
Exactly. He's trying to get out of paying.
And his creditors
his
will
bills.
seize. They'll go through the government. They'll seize his property
All
and
that
they'll
other
take all that
stuff and all
stuff
that.
and auction it off. But
I
don't know the details of it.
Yeah.
I just know.
we
I just saw a
read some
thumbnail that
headlines
said
and
he
some
did a foreign.
thumbnails.
And I try not to immerse myself with celebrities too much when I'm focused on my goals.
Big time.
And then our goals with this channel and
Yeah.
the community and the network aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Which, not bad, bro. For 11 episodes, just kind of like talking about this, kind of half joking in November, and then like kind of being more serious in December, and then January. I think end of December, I was like, let's do this. And then January, and then we were just trying to come up,
Yeah,
and we were playing around with the
names,
the names,
themes,
and then
things like
being
figuring
on
out.
camera, the days with the $10 mics, and then my
Oh
boy
my
Ron
God.
came in the clutch
Yeah,
with
those
this.
$10
These are
mics.
150, so he is dedicated. You guys, there's a lot of things that you don't see behind the scenes. Dude, the episode before, we were like, what are we gonna talk about? What the hell are we
Exactly.
gonna talk about?
Exactly.
And it's just like the practice that we did, the 9 episodes of practice we did, it's like as soon as we pushed that record button, we already knew what time it was. And it looks,
we go in a zone. Them lights turn on and stuff. We go into a zone and we just we on some real. All right, let's get this done.
we lock in.
We got to
And
lock in.
That's why it feels good that I'm so happy. I'm happy that I did get my bonus, but I am happy that you accomplished your goal. And I wouldn't.
Same here.
Yeah,
Even though I can sit back-
I'm really
I can
happy
sit back and
because I knew you were stressed because you called me at 10:45 at night. I thought you
know
got
me.
kicked out of the damn house and you needed to get an air mattress and you were gonna sleep at my place. That's why I was like, that's what, dude. That was my first thought when you called me. I said, oh shit. I said, he got kicked out of his house. He's gonna try to move in with me. And I was like, you were like the only one of the only ones that I would let, I let you stay there for like 60 days. And then I'd be like, Ron, all right, come on, dog. It's time to figure it out.
Because you knew like how I was stressing and how it was even taking a little, like a little toll. It can take a toll like mentally on you and even take a little toll because like I said,
in your relationship
in my
too.
Relationship, because
with your wife.
Exactly. In my relationship with my wife, this whole last
and that's
week,
what I was scared of. That's what
week.
I was like with all the editing. I was like, man, I hope this doesn't cause problems at home.
Yeah, I know you was. And
that's why I didn't. I was like, I'm cool.
and
if
granted,
you don't put the episode out, or we take 2 weeks, so
granted,
you're not all stressed out.
I am glad
but you made
that
it happen down to the wire.
And exactly, I'm glad that I was able to make it happen because now I can figure out. I can start figuring out from that one there how to, still trying to create time for my wife and stuff like that, and for my kids and stuff. Even, at the same time, while putting out our quality, our work, so it was good. It was good and stressful, but it worked.
We
out.
never went to school for journalism. We don't talk to a speech coach. We asked our friends to be like, hey, what do you think about this?
What y'all think? How you?
Or they'd be like, hey,
give us
be like
feedback.
every once in a while, when we're having conversations, we look at each other, but also look at the cameras. But it's all been positive vibes. We got one sorry ass hater that gave us a thumbs down.
And you know what's funny? I was sitting there I was telling.
You talking about the thumbs down?
Nah. But I don't even.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm stressing about all of this, like stress about this one episode because I believe so much in it. And with our small following, we could get 20 views on this. This episode right here, we could probably get, you never know, we can get fucking 30 views on it. I don't believe so.
I thought,
but we can get 30 views on it.
I was also like mentally prepared. Like, hey, we might do 5 episodes. We might do 5 views on episode 1, and it is like we hit the ground rolling, except episode 2. But we had, we don't know. Mm-hmm. I thought it. We got personal, but maybe I gotta relook at the episode 2, but the sound was off, but we fixed everything. If anybody that's been there from episode 1 to 11,
from episode 1
I personally want to shake these people's hands. If you've watched every episode from 1 to 11, you're my hero.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So shout outs to Mama.
Yeah. Oh, she's watched every single episode?
She got to catch up on it. She got to catch up. She goes back and catch up on them. She don't catch them like every week, but she do.
She's seen every single one?
Yeah. She's seen up to 8, and I think she just caught up like a couple of days ago.
Nice.
Up until last episode. 'Cause I sent it in our group chat, and so, but yeah, man. So, you gotta fight for what you believe.
And this was just a leap of faith, like we don't know what's gonna come from this, but it's too late to start over now.
We are too far in it, and we
almost, if we gave up now, we would just, it was just everybody that said, oh, this is corny, I can't believe they're doing this or whatever.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody says negative wise, because if you're gonna be negative towards us, that shows you how sorry your life is. Because at the end of the day, we know what it is. We got 28 subscribers. Mm-hmm. We know what it is, and we got like over 100 views, which is not bad considering our experience. And this guy does a lot. He does a lot that that people don't see, and he does it because he likes it. He wouldn't have bought these $150 mics unless he liked doing this.
I have a feeling about this. I just have a feeling.
And it's been good for you and I. It's been like we said before we even started this whole thing, it's like our diary. So like when we're 60 years old, we can be like, hey, this is how I thought when I was 38 and you were 36, So hopefully I got a plumbing business. This dude got multiple barbershops, and we're just, laughing at these youngsters.
Yeah, for sure, man. With that being said, man, I think it's a wrap for the day.
Oh, we're gonna go for 2. Nah.
Oh, man, we ain't got footage for 2 hours, man. Yeah, no.
One day I'd like to do 2. Well, one of these days.
Well, one day we got.
I think we could have
find a way. Yeah. For sure.
I think we could have made this 2.
Yeah, for sure. Sure, we can do 2 one day. But we got what we got. Find footage and stuff. But man, we got. All right, Austino.
Nice.